Hello everyone, myself Bharati, Assistant Professor of Chemistry from Freshman Engineering in St. Martin's Engineering College. Today I am going to discuss about cracking. So cracking, what is cracking, why we have to do the cracking and which fuel we have to do cracking, that all we are going to discuss. So before going to discuss about this cracking, so cracking is generally takes place in the liquid fuels. So first before going to discuss about that liquid fuel, first we'll discuss about the fuel. What is the meaning of fuel? Then we'll go to the cracking process. So what is the meaning of fuel? Fuel is nothing but fuel is nothing but combustible substance. Fuel is a combustible substance, and all we know, combustion is nothing but burning in presence of oxygen. So fuel is combustible substance means the substance can burn in the presence of oxygen. So suppose I am taking fuel, it contains carbon as a component. So this carbon is present in the fuel. Suppose for example, carbon is containing in the fuel, it undergo combustion. So combustion means burning in presence of oxygen. So it burn in presence of oxygen that readily produces products. So here I am taking carbon and this carbon is reacts with oxygen and readily forms carbon dioxide and it releases heat. And this heat is used for various purposes. So this is the fuel. So what is the meaning of fuel? Fuel is nothing but combustible substance which contains carbon as a major component and which undergo combustion. That means burning in presence of oxygen produces products and at the same time it releases heat. And this heat is used for various purposes. So that is the fuel. So generally in nature we can observe fuels, natural fuels and also artificial fuels. So that is the classification of fuel. So coming to classification of fuel, classification of fuels are generally two types, natural fuel and artificial fuel. So what is the meaning of natural fuel? Its origin is nature. So origin is nature means how we'll get the natural fuels? So from the plants and animals. From the plants and animals. So because of decay of plants and animals which are buried under the earth crust for a millions of years of time, under the earth crust high temperatures and pressures are developed under the earth crust. So resulting will get the natural fuels. Suppose for example, what are the examples for natural fuels? Whatever coal, petroleum, natural gas. So those are all the natural fuels. So natural fuel is nothing but we can get the fuels naturally. So that means because of decay of plants and animals which are buried under the earth crust over a millions of years of time, during that time under the earth crust high temperature and pressures are developed. So resulting will get natural fuels. So examples for natural fuels, coal, petroleum and natural gas. So these are the natural fuels. And what about artificial fuel? Artificial fuel, it is also called as man-made fuel. So natural fuel means we can get it from the nature itself. Artificial fuel means we'll get this artificial fuel from the natural fuel. So suppose for example, we'll get petrol from the petroleum and will get coke from the coal. So examples, coke. So coke will get from the coal and petrol will get from the petroleum. Coke, petrol, biogas, LPG. So those are all artificial fuels. And here this is the classification of fuel based on the nature, natural and artificial. And again fuels are classified into three categories, that is based on the physical state. So based on physical state, fuels are classified into three types. So based on physical state, fuels are classified into three types. So those are solid fuels, liquid fuels and gaseous fuels. Solid fuels, liquid fuels and gaseous fuels. So solid fuel means how we'll get the solid fuel? So natural solid fuel will get from the nature itself. Next liquid fuels, petroleum. So petrol will get from the petroleum. Next gaseous fuels, suppose LPG, biogas, those will get from the natural gas. So that is the classification of fuel based on the physical state, solid, liquid and gaseous fuels. So coming to our topic. So what is our topic? Our topic is the liquid fuels. In liquid fuels, why we have to do cracking? That is our topic. So what is liquid fuel? As we discussed, liquid fuel means petroleum. That is the natural liquid fuel. Petroleum is the natural liquid fuel and petrol is the artificial liquid fuel. So that means petrol will get from the petroleum. And here I am going to discuss about cracking that readily takes place in the liquid fuels. So see here. So this is the liquid fuels, natural, as we discussed, natural, artificial. So natural liquid fuels, crude oil or petroleum, and artificial liquid fuels, petrol, diesel are the artificial liquid fuels. Next our topic is the cracking. So cracking is nothing but, so generally whatever the petroleum we are getting from the earth crust, that is containing higher hydrocarbon fractions. So those hydrocarbon fractions cannot be used as a fuel. So that's why we are doing cracking. So because of this cracking, we can convert that higher hydrocarbon fractions into lower hydrocarbon fractions. So suppose for example petroleum, I am taking the petroleum. So that petroleum, it contains higher boiling fractions and higher hydrocarbon fractions. So that petroleum is not readily used as a fuel. So that's why we are doing cracking. So because of this cracking, that higher boiling point, higher hydrocarbon fractions are readily converted into higher hydrocarbons of higher boiling points converted into lower hydrocarbons of lower boiling points. Is it clear? Higher hydrocarbons of higher boiling points into lower hydrocarbons of lower boiling points. So that only we want, lower boiling points of low hydrocarbons only, we have to use it as a fuel. So we can do this cracking by using two ways, thermal cracking and catalytic cracking. So thermal cracking, in the name itself, thermal cracking is nothing but it requires high temperature. So in presence of high temperature only the cracking readily takes place. Thermal cracking requires high temperatures. So in presence of high temperature only the cracking reaction readily takes place. So that means cracking means higher hydrocarbons of higher boiling points converted into lower hydrocarbons of low boiling points. So thermal cracking that takes place in presence of high temperatures and in the absence of catalyst. In the absence of catalyst. That is the thermal cracking, first one. Next, second one is the catalytic cracking. In the name itself, catalytic cracking that require, compared to thermal cracking, this catalytic cracking requires low temperatures. So it requires, temperature is also required, but compared to thermal cracking, catalytic cracking require much low temperature, but catalytic cracking that readily takes place in presence of catalyst. In presence of catalyst. So that is the types of cracking, thermal cracking and catalytic cracking. So next is we'll see the reaction of cracking. So what I told, cracking means higher hydrocarbons of higher boiling points readily converted into higher hydrocarbons of higher boiling points readily converted into lower hydrocarbons of low boiling points. So these higher hydrocarbons cannot be used as a fuel. That's why we are doing cracking. So during the cracking, what is the chemical reaction takes place inside the fuel? So that is the reaction, cracking reaction. Here you can observe C10H22. The name of this hydrocarbon is the decane and its boiling point is the 174 degree centigrade. But this decane, it is a higher hydrocarbon. It cannot be used as a fuel in oil refineries. So that's why we are doing cracking. So this decane undergo cracking process. It readily forms C5H12, that is nothing but alkane. The name of that alkane is the N-pentane, and also it forms C5H10, that is the alkene. The name of this alkene is the pentene. And here I told you cracking means higher hydrocarbon, that is the decane of high boiling point, that is 174 degree centigrade, is readily converted into lower hydrocarbons, that is N-pentane and N-pentene, with boiling points of low boiling points, that is 36 degree centigrade. So this is the cracking reaction. So next our topic is the moving bed catalytic cracking, and in this the cracking process has to be takes place means the catalyst presence is mandatory. That is in the case of catalytic cracking. Today I am going to discuss about catalytic cracking. In catalytic cracking, I am going to discuss about catalytic cracking. So what I told you, in catalytic cracking, presence of catalyst is mandatory. So which type of catalyst we are using? Modern cracking uses zeolites as the catalyst. Modern cracking process nowadays we are using, in cracking process the catalyst is the zeolite. So zeolite means its composition is aluminum silicates. Next, generally we can use alumina as a catalyst. So these two are the catalysts can be readily used in catalytic cracking process. So this is about cracking and which type of catalyst is we are using and why we are doing the cracking. Next we will move on to our topic, that is the moving bed catalytic cracking. So moving bed catalytic cracking means, so here moving catalytic cracking. So that means throughout the process the movement of catalyst is readily takes place. So that's why it is called as moving catalytic cracking. So what is moving catalytic cracking? Throughout the cracking process the movement of catalyst is readily takes place. So that's why it is called as moving bed catalytic cracking. And also another name for this cracking is a fluid bed catalytic cracking. Fluid bed catalytic cracking. So why it is named as fluid bed catalytic cracking? Because here we are taking the oil, higher hydrocarbon oil. That higher hydrocarbon oil is readily mixed with the finely powdered catalyst. So resulting product is almost looks like fluid. That's why it is also called as fluid bed catalytic cracking. So it is called as moving bed catalytic cracking because throughout the process the catalyst movement is readily takes place. Next, it is also called as fluid bed catalytic cracking because we are taking oil, higher hydrocarbon oil that is readily mixed with the finely powdered catalyst. So the appearance is looks like fluid. That's why it is also called as fluid bed catalytic cracking. So coming to the definition, moving bed catalytic cracking is a process that is used in petroleum refining industry. So where we can use this cracking? In petroleum refining industry to convert, our motto is to convert heavy fractions of petroleum into valuable fuels like gasoline, diesel, LPG, kerosene. Those are the lighter fractions. So from the petroleum we will get the fractions of petroleum like gasoline. Gasoline is nothing but petrol. We will get petrol, diesel and LPG. So here higher fractions, that is nothing but petroleum, is readily converted into gasoline, that is nothing but petrol, diesel and kerosene. Next we will see the diagram. So this is the fluid bed catalytic cracking or moving bed catalytic cracking. So here we are first we have to take the what we are taking, heavy oil, that is nothing but feed oil I am taking. So that feed oil is nothing but which oil we are doing the cracking, higher hydrocarbon oil. So that higher hydrocarbon oil is nothing but feed oil, higher hydrocarbon oil. Higher hydrocarbon oil is nothing but feed oil. So feed oil I am introducing into the heater. So here the oil, when it is readily heated, it readily forms vapors. As we know, when oil is heated, it readily forms vapors. So those vapors are passing through this reactor. The vapors are passing through this reactor including the catalyst. So which type of catalyst we are using? Alumina or aluminum silicates. So vapors of oil along with the catalyst introduced into the reactor, and this reactor is maintaining the temperature of 600 degree centigrade. So here the cracking reaction is readily takes place. So what is cracking? Higher hydrocarbons are readily converted into lower hydrocarbons. So here cracked vapors will form, and here during the cracking process all the hydrocarbons are not readily converted into lower hydrocarbons. So some of the hydrocarbons cannot undergo cracking. So those hydrocarbons, what they will do? They can surrounded around the catalyst. So that means when the hydrocarbons are surrounded around catalyst means the resulting catalyst does not works. So if catalyst is not working means we cannot go further. So here the cracking process is readily takes place, and at the same time we have to regenerate the catalyst. Why we have to regenerate the catalyst? Because some of the hydrocarbons cannot readily undergo cracking process, they can settle around the catalyst. So that's why we have to remove that hydrocarbons from the catalyst. How we can remove that hydrocarbons from the catalyst? Here this is the spent catalyst. So spent catalyst by passing air, it can be moving towards the catalyst regenerator. So in this catalyst regenerator, the maintained temperature is 600 degrees centigrade. Because of this temperature, whatever the hydrocarbons present around the catalyst, they can be burnt, undergo combustion and readily releases flue gases. So this is the regeneration of catalyst. Next here cracking reaction is readily takes place, means lower hydrocarbons are readily formed. So those lower hydrocarbons formed at the top of the fractional distillating column and heavy fractions at the bottom. But we need only lighter fractions. So those lighter fractions are passing through the cooler and they readily get condensed. And here in the cooler itself the gases can be released. And here whatever the lighter fraction, suppose gasoline, the gasoline can be stabilized in the stabilizer. This is the stabilizer, and finally we will get the gasoline or petrol out. And in the stabilizer also, if still any gases are there, they can be removed out from the stabilizer. So this is the fluid bed catalytic cracking or moving bed catalytic cracking. So again we will see this through the video. So moving bed catalytic cracking is nothing but it is throughout the process, it is continuously moves on. So observe this diagram. First we are introducing feed oil. So feed oil, this green color one is showing the feed oil. Feed oil is heated, so that is going into the reactor. You can observe it is going into the reactor. So here we are combining feed oil and at the same time catalyst. So here the cracking reaction readily takes place. So here the cracking reaction readily takes place, and at the same time I told you spent catalyst. Spent catalyst means we have to regenerate the catalyst during the cracking process. The spent catalyst again going towards the catalyst regenerator, and this catalyst regenerator, the catalyst around the catalyst the hydrocarbons will be present, they can be burnt. So here regeneration of catalyst can be done. Next after that, next is the cracking reaction. So here cracking, after this regeneration, cracking reaction. Here you can see the cracked vapors are passing towards the fractional distillation column. So fractionating column, at the bottom will get the higher boiling fractions and at the top light fractions. So light fractions are again condensed in the cooler. Next after that, if still any gases are present, they can be sent to the stabilizer. So finally in the stabilizer we will get the gasoline out, and by the after the removal of gases. So this is the fluid bed catalytic cracking or moving bed catalytic cracking. So why it is called moving bed catalytic cracking? Because it is throughout the process the catalyst is moving, that's why it is moving bed catalytic cracking. And why it is called fluid bed? Because we are finely powdered the catalyst along with the oil, that's why it is called as fluid bed catalytic cracking. And why we are doing this cracking process? What is the need of this cracking? What is the need of this cracking? So to convert the higher boiling fractions of petroleum into lower boiling fractions of petroleum. So that's why we are doing the cracking process. So, and also in which type of fuels we can do this cracking process? We can do this cracking process for the liquid fuels. So liquid fuels can readily undergo cracking process. So during the cracking process, higher hydrocarbons are readily converted into lower hydrocarbons. So whatever the higher hydrocarbons, those are not ready to used in the oil refineries. So that's why we are converting that higher hydrocarbons into lower hydrocarbons. So that's why we are doing the cracking process. And also in this cracking process, I told you along with the conversion of higher boiling fractions into lower boiling fractions, at the same time the boiling points also changes. So what are the boiling points? Higher boiling points are readily converted into lower boiling points. So first which temperature we are maintaining? Here which temperature we are maintaining? First cracking 174 degree centigrade. Next, during the cracking reaction, what is the temperature? 36 degrees, 36 degrees. So at the same time, higher hydrocarbons are readily converted into lower hydrocarbons, and at the same time boiling points also, higher boiling points also converted into lower boiling points. And here in this cracking process, during the cracked vapors form, after that they are passing towards the fractionating column. Next, after that, stabilizer. Next, finally it removes gases. Finally we will get the gasoline. So this is all about moving bed catalytic cracking in our fluid bed catalytic cracking. So moving bed catalytic cracking or fluid bed catalytic cracking. So what are the apparatus? Preheater, reactors, catalyst regenerator, fractionating column, cooler, and also finally last one is the stabilizer. So these are the, by doing with this we can do the cracking process. And here, and this is the maintaining of temperature is also important. So here we have to maintain 600 degrees centigrade, here also 600 degrees centigrade, but in case of thermal cracking the maintaining temperature is different, and thermal cracking that takes place in the absence of catalyst, but catalytic cracking it requires catalyst and with low temperatures. So this is the fluid bed catalytic cracking or moving bed catalytic cracking. So roughly we will discuss about, so what are the reactor, fractionating column, what is going on this reactor, that we will discuss. So here what is the first one is the preheater. So what we are doing in this preheater? So first one is the what we discussed. First one is the preheater. First one is the preheater. Second one is the reactor. Next, third one is the regenerator. Next, after that, after the regenerator, what is the next one? Next, fractionating column. Fractionating column. Next, after fractionating column, what is there? After fractionating column, next is the condenser. Next, after condenser, last one is the stabilizer. So by remembering this, all those terms, we can easily explain, we can easily understand the fluid bed catalytic cracking. First one is the preheater. So that means whatever the higher hydrocarbon oil we are taking, that can be heated in the preheater. Next one, reactor. The oil vapors and catalyst are going towards the reactor. The cracking reaction readily takes place. Next, regenerator. So in the reactor, whatever is the spent catalyst is there, that again go towards the regenerator. Next, fractionating column. Here fractionating column, the whatever the cracked vapors are formed in the reactor, they can be passing towards the fractionating column. So in this fractionating column, so already we know fractionating column means it is cylindrical tower, long cylindrical tower. Already I shown you in the diagram. So long cylindrical tower, it contains number of horizontal plates. So each plate contain chimney and loose cap. After that, condenser and condensed. Next, stabilizer. Finally the gasoline gets stabilized, will get the gasoline out. So this is about fluid bed catalytic cracking. I hope you are all understand. So this is all about fluid bed catalytic cracking or moving bed catalytic cracking.